one. Aha. Let's go live. Stand by, guys. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I've got it set to up. If you haven't seen SPL's Pro on YouTube, please go and find it. 1 second. What else do I need? Cameras. I'll leave that. We're good. Let's rock on, Tommy. Sunday the 5th of August. We're about at 10. Sorry. Sunday the 5th of August, 10 to 3. It's about 30 degrees. I've had a good kip. I needed it. I had 5 hours the night before, 4 hours the night before that. Quite a bit on my mind. Quite a bit of structure to put out there, to be fair, and a bit of personal direction to take. So I'll put you like this. Look at this, the washing and everything. There's no holds barred here, is there? 1 second. So I went to York yesterday. I had the honour and privilege going up there and meeting some of the extended family, if you like. That was excellent. It was an excellent day. It was good vibe. I had to speak first because there was issues with no projector, so this isn't a criticism. It was an excellent day and I'm grateful for it, so let that be said first and paramount. But yeah, there was an issue with the projector, so they got another one coming down, and some speakers. Amplifier was a little bit late, I think, due to traffic and so forth, so we improvised. By improvisation, the organiser said, well, one of the organisers says, would you go on first, Dave? I know you're down for later on in the day, like last on the list of speakers in the order. So I said, I've just woke up. I got up at 8. I should have got up at 7. I said, it's now, it must have been about 20 past 9, quarter to 10ish in the morning, maybe nearly 10. And I said, all right, then, you know, I'll work with you. I don't really think that it's wise for a man that's just waking up and that isn't familiar with our direction and, you know, course that we are taking now, and the language, the instruments, and how our revised status, capacity, standing, understanding, inner standing is. And I says, I need to get a complex amount of information out, and I'm first speaking. I would like them to have had the chance to have been warmed up, a little bit of, you know, normal law, natural law, divine law, common law, working their way up to. But you know me, man, I speak it too much. I like it to speak, so I took the challenge, and I went up to speak. I took my clipboard. I had structure and direction, so I welcomed them, said good morning, hello, what we were here for, my position, you know, and thanked them for allowing me up. I noticed there was common law sheriffs around the room, but at first a bit of cognitive dissonance came into effect, and I looked and I saw where they have on their arm, they have the CIS, you know, the yellow license, that the license to be a doorman. Yeah, so those of you that have been in the game or DJing or about, you know what I mean, they have an identifier there and it stands out. So as I looked around the room at 10ish, guys were still arriving. There was some delay in roadworks, traffic and that, so they were still arriving, about 50 at that time. Dinner time was about 80, I reckon, 80, 90. So a good turnout overall. So yes, everyone was taking their seats and just settling down. I presented who we are. I've been to the court system, had a solicitor, a barrister. I'm aware of the procedural and judiciary. The time was 2005 when I was first immersed into the judiciary, because I've never been served a custodial sentence, much to everybody's amazement. I've never served the pleasure of Her Majesty, hand on heart, in front of Creator. So I've not had much in the way of judiciary experience at all, except my own personal intervention for property. I didn't know what I know now then, which is why we know what we know now, because we lose in the judiciary and it's a place of business, not justice. Personage and barratry are but a few of the issues that we have. So the language, the context, the legalese, the wolves dressed in sheep's clothing with all the wigs on. Oh my days, you couldn't make it up. So I introduced that. That took me about 10 minutes, to be fair, fam. That wasn't a long ordeal. And then I presented the Facebook family and community. I presented the YouTube, which is 2,200 and something on Indie. On SPLs, we've got 122 subscribers, but you are comprised of these, so we'll just say 2,200 here. Facebook 3,600, so that's 5,800 between YouTube's and Facebook. Then there's independent members on the .com, so we'll call it about 5,810. This has been amassed in 40 months. It's been a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of planning. It's not just my own work, it's all your work, it's the admin's work, it's the previous admins, it's John Harris, Winston Shrout, Carl Lentz, you know what I mean, Romley Stewart, Santos Bonacci, or Santos, if that's how we say it, Santos. Yeah, so that was the layout, the structure, the understanding, introduction. I went interactive, and I asked who was aware of equity. I said, if you're purporting to use common law and to stand under common law, then I'd like to know, first thing in the morning, remember, everyone's waking up, who is aware of equity. And when I say that, I'd like to see a show of hands if you are familiar with the word, the instrument, or the area of equity. And about 50 sat down. 12 put their hands up. Out of them 12, they put their hands down. I then said, would this be financial? If it's financial, keep your hands down, like to do with mortgages and equity to do with shares of in a business type sense, financial, fiscal construct, that kind of issue. I said if it was to do with something else like law, legal or law, then mostly law, it was equity law related or trust related, can you let me know? And the hand went back up. They asked about a question, and I don't think it quite, I'll have to look at the video. There is videos of it. Somebody videoed it for you, for the family. We have permission to share it, so I'm going to link up with this guy on Facebook, and I'll get them, and I'll have all authority, because I'm on them, to share them. Maybe not public, I don't know, we'll check, but if not, they'll be shared unlisted, and you'll have to email me for the unlisted link, alright? That's so that if it's just me and they're separate, then I'll put my ones on, that's alright, you'll get them straight away. Yeah, so they asked about an equitable issue, and I said, well, I will give you another example where it would be mortgage, not mortgage, it would be property, and the property would be a house under mortgage. So because the tenant, right, the owner, the mortgage holder and family have gone on their holidays, vacation, and whilst they're away for a month, they're quite well off, it's a posh estate and that. I found myself an empty property, and I moved myself in while they're away for a month. Me, the family, everybody. We changed the locks, and we're in there. We've got possession. Hey up, what's going on here? YouTube's crashed, Indigo's crashing. 1 second. We have strange affairs going on. Strange things. Things just shut down. Yeah, they're going weird. It's locked up. Alright, that doesn't happen usual. That's just let me just trouble at mill, guys. Trouble at mill. Might be memory though, because it might be the heat. Don't always assume the worst. It's alright, you're all here anyway. We'll carry on. It's not meant to be. Alright, so let me try and reset. Yeah, we're aware. We're aware of the laws and the areas, so I purported to say that I proceeded to say that if you've got a property and you're on holiday, you've moved, I've moved in, I've changed the locks, my family are in, we see it as thus. There was possession is 9/10 of the law. So if possession is 9/10 of the law and I'm in there with the family, I've changed the locks, we're back on. Patience is a virtue, and then you come back, you put the key in the door, and you can't get in because the locks have been changed. Then you ring the constabulary. They turn up. Turns out I've got a notice of equitable interest in this property, and you're the mortgagee. You don't have the allodial title. You would have the feudal title. You've not got the actual title because you're still paying for the property, so it's not yours in that sense. Title of ownership. You are still in the midst of purchasing it, so you got to understand the legal position there, and the title and the ownership and the structure. So a man's moved in, and then I've got a vested interest in that property, and I've put one of the maxims of equity: first in time is first in line. So whoever uses and calls for the equitable side first, look into that and why. That's one of the 20 maxims of the equitable maxims. So I said, so if I've not got the mortgage, you're on holiday, I've snuck in, moved my family in, changed the locks. Remember back to the mid 80s, early 90s, there was a big spate of this going off, and it was I can't remember what they called it now, but I then said, so it wouldn't last, it would go to a higher court and it would be sorted out, but it would be a long process and it's not straightforward. I said, I'm not up to any relevant changes in anywhere at the minute on this, what's the word called, guys, when you move into somebody's house and then when they're out and you take it, it's called something, isn't it? Yeah, I did mention it yesterday, but yeah. And I proceeded to say that common law in equity run side by side. We use common law, we respect common law. If you hit somebody, take somebody, wrong them, defraud them, you need to pay under common law. You need to make amends and pay your debt to society and provide remedy or relief for their actions under common law. So murder would be dealt with under common law murder. Yeah, it's not manslaughter or the Manslaughter Act or anything like that. Common law murder is applied for when man commits and takes a life, yeah, because it's wrong to kill, as we're told by the Creator, despite our foreign war policy and the wars that are waging on in the name of, it's wrong to kill. That's what God said to man. So common law we respect, natural law, divine law we respect, the law of attraction, the power of intent. It's massive. It really is. It's been kept from us. We're a civilization. What? We're a civilization with amnesia and not very good drawing pins. 1 minute. We'll take it down. It's a sign. It's windy. That's a sign off. So then I proceeded to say that if you are in a position of legal argumentation, there are ways of which you can alleviate that pressure, and if the ruling of laws collide, then conflict, then this is one of the Earl of Oxford's maxims, I believe, in the equitable maxims. It tells you that the ruling of law will be the equitable side will prevail if you know how to invoke it. And it's not an insult to anybody in the rebellion, practical law, full dissent, common law court. John Smith didn't arrive, I don't know why, but that was a bit of a letdown for me. Not a letdown on the day, but I really wanted to talk to. I've got questions from you, a little bit of a, my own little not interview, but assessment of, I'm hearing about you've got to show certain birth certificates and registration of the common law court. I know nothing. I'm speaking to two ladies on Facebook, and they're helping us out, and apparently are in touch with John, and have asked me to speak to John yesterday, but he didn't turn up, so man couldn't do that. We will look forward to that if that can happen further down the line. Rob, I'm aware of what's happened in Scotland with Rob. So I says, needs common law birth certificates in the common law court. I said, if you understand the birth certification system and the general registry office and the bondsman, yes, and how it goes and what the trusts are, and the trust relating to the 37 is it, CQV, the 1301 Pope Boniface, Pope Innocent, you know, and I went through them, and they're quite happy to see that man can recite, and the popes and certain bits and bobs and revelations and time leading up to the expected return of the Saviour in June of 1666, which didn't happen. So then they worked out that they can then work, you know, move forward, because the divinity hasn't spoken, it hasn't happened. It was, you know, I've got to get more in on this, but when we analysed it, we've looked at the bondage and the certificates, and I said, so for you to be putting a Crown copyrighted name into a common law court is like mixing the jurisdiction slightly, because that document, when you're in the birthing time, when it's born, when you're born, there is the, as Romulus pointed out, the certificate of birth created with the surname ready to be annexed to the given or Christian name. Then when you go for the registration, they produce and create the birth certificate and annex the given Christian to the, you know, and that's how I then claim of right given into trust. And I explained all of this. I also said, if you are a Muslim or a non, let me think, Catholic, because not Christian, Christians are Protestants. I need to remember this because I forgot it, believe it or not. I don't know how, but it got pushed out with all of the stuff going in. Simple things. Yeah, the Catholic is the birth certificate, and we looked at it like that and analysed it. And I said, so we need to discuss the common law. I said, a man's spoken to a Roman Catholic priest. I said, there's also a man in the room here today, Brother Steve, you know, and I says he's present and aware of what we did there and what kind of rulings we had to quote and look at to get a rite of passage for the baby of Liverpool and the family, and we had to advise about the public and also going into the private, what the benefits of that are, what the obligations are, what your capabilities, status, capacity, and all of this. But unfortunately, you've seen and heard it's in the past, but I referenced it and I made sure that it was put out there concisely, because they need to cognise where we're at, because they're not all privy. We didn't hide trust and equity. We didn't create it either. All we've done is try to say, hey up, National Health Trust, you know, the Primary Service Care Trust in England, NHS England, and the trust of that, and the trust of the schools, the academies, all those have trustees and their trusts, albeit the public schools. There's a lot of trusts set out there, the agencies, DVLA, you've got agencies and you've got trusts, and we thought they were in the public, and conditional acceptance with the 3-letter process and contract law, and wow, yeah, titles, you know, titles to do with property, mortgages, houses, cars, and blood, man's blood. I said, this isn't funny. We're here today to do a serious job. You common law guys, you lawful rebellion, you sovereign self-governing souls, you practical lawful dissent, you guys that are doing civil disobedience without committing common law harm, you common law sheriffs over there, you know, I haven't got a badge, but I've my heart and my mind are of a man, and they are equal, they vibrate the same. So I am authorised to carry out a common law citizen's arrest, but I'm not a citizen, but I'd operate under the common law and perform an arrest as a man, as David, and I, David, in the private capacity, would do that and present for, you know, dealing with community based. So I haven't got a badge, my badge is here. You know, my badge is my tattoo of my children, if anything, on my property, on my heart. So we all have the capacity for that. I didn't insult them, I just said, but if you've stood up to be these types of capacities, then I'd like, you know, to talk to you later on and have a chat with you to discuss how you see it, how you feel, your role in the community, what you see you can develop going forward. You know, and they had shirts on, they had some stitching here of what the sheriffs, what they were, and something, peacekeepers, and I was going to take photos, but I didn't want to be rude, and I should have, I know. There's a lot to take in. It was on my own, I had to speak first, I tried not to overload them, you know me. New area, cognition, and what else have I got to say? So I'll talk to you about the speakers in a minute. I was sat outside talking to somebody called Popeye, 3 common law sheriffs, Popeye, and somebody called Lee, and another guy that Popeye or Lee will know if they watch this, but somebody come down the fire escape, said, we're talking real law now, and then they made like a look to me, and I turned around and says, well, I hope that's going to be, you know, like common law, equity, trust, comparable situations and hypothetical, you know, management of. And we went upstairs, and there was a guy called William speaking, who I love and I get on with. I met him yesterday, I had breakfast with him at the hotel that they put us up in, and yeah, I like him. He was doing a presentation, So put a pin in that. Back to the stairs. We're talking about real law upstairs. Bit of a conflow. This guy doesn't like me. I don't know why. He wasn't very welcoming. He doesn't want to speak to me. And I told the event organizer. There was another gentleman there who's been in the game a bit. I've made an effort. I've gone out my way to try and say hello, to be nice. And the last time we spoke, man left a bit of a shitty remark on my YouTube video. Reference bills of exchange. Yeah, that should be enough for you if you've been following Indy for a bit. Or you've been subscribed to Indy and following David for a bit, you'll know about that hoo-ha we had, a bit of confusion, and yeah, it seems that we've fallen out and we can't make up. So I tried and I got blanked. So out of everybody there, 90, we'll say 80, 90, there was 2 guys that wouldn't speak or engage, or were a bit hostile, sarcastic, childish, egotistical, yeah, you know. And the other one, I spoke about the Bradbury Pound, who wants to bring that in, and I wanted to have an intelligent, concise talk about these equitable assets, you know, consideration and endorsement of using instrumentation of your person issued by the International Monetary Fund in the form of an indemnification number, which is your person's national insurance number, coming from the IMF. Yes, they're quite clever, these guys, and they're up on everything. All you've got to do is just tell them the new constructs of how we see it, like project out how we now talk and see and manage and do, and what successes we have and when, how we compel trustees, how we reset relationships, collapse the trust where we're in it, and when it's a constructed trust, unconscionable actions, we're the resulting trustee. We're the resulting trustee with the legal possessory title, and not the beneficiary or even the settlor or executor. So yeah, it's just amazing time to be in, and great guys, great energy, no issues, nothing at all. So now, Mr. Wilf's incredible prank, and it's written by Pete McGowan. Yeah, I'm going to give you a little of that, alright, so you can see the preface or the summary of the book. The preface is in the front, just bit of title, and it starts. Right, so following a confrontation with some unruly youths, wait. Following a confrontation with some unruly youths, Mr. Wilf decides to take matters into his own hands to create a perfect prank to teach them a lesson they would never forget. However, the hilarious method he chooses, and no matter how well intentioned it was, soon gets out of his control, to the point of becoming a nuisance, leaving Mr. Wilf no choice but to try and unravel what he thinks he has done. The trouble is, the more he tries, the bigger his adventure becomes, leading from one set of strange circumstances after another, far beyond what he could have ever imagined, not even in his wildest dreams, but becomes the stuff of nightmares instead, taking him further on a journey out of this world and leaving him with a responsibility he wished he never had, but also leaving the reader the discretion of whether the outcome of Mr. Wilf's story was either good or bad. So, wow, there's a message in here. Look at that. It's not as small print as what we're used to getting in the legal publications, yeah, but so yeah, I'm going to get Marie to have a go on it, and Yanka and I will have a read, and we will see at the end. Yeah, you will have 2 choices. You will either, oh, no, you don't do that, do you? Oh, close. Sorry, Pete, I nearly just ruined your book. It's on the internet. I'd like you to search for that. If you've met him or you know him, give me a shout. He's a Yorkshire man, and I say Yorkshire, I don't know whereabouts, but man's worked down pits like, and his family's a good, genuine, do-goodering family. He's give us a bit of background on that. He had some support there. He seems like a genuine good soul, you know what I mean? So he's laid awake at night, worried, trying to work out this construct, where we are, what's happening, how to deal with it, how he sees himself in it. And there are stories about this book. We'll ask him to have a hangout. He's done his work. He doesn't want to get involved. He doesn't want to fight any battles. He doesn't want to be brought into anything. Or it's my privilege to just go, what? Have a go on that, have a little review. It's online, it's been read internationally. We've met the man himself. I'm going to have a review. Wait on if you want, maybe a month because of my time commitments and Yeah, and we'll have a review and we'll look at that. And that was very interesting. He had a lot to say. He was very, very calm, and he put some laughs and fun into his speech, his presentation, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So respect to Brother Pete and his family and all that know him and what he's done. He gave some of these out to hospitals as well, bless him, because he had some weird stuff happen with the publication side, and it rendered him without apostrophes in grammar, and weird stuff was happening, like, you know. And I won't go into it now, that's for another time. William spoke. He spoke about law. I don't know his second name. It might be on that flyer for the thumbnail that I've put on the video. Tom Crawford spoke. I did. And a man about, what, 5G, excellent, big guy from Geordietown, Newcastle. Why are you, man? Duncan, me eye, can you see? Spooky, me eye, spooky. Sorry, really bad at accents, but we do love you guys up there. You are fun characters, to say the least. You like a good swill, big lads, big hearts, big minds. I'm going to say somebody Anthony, go on YouTube, somebody Anthony, 5G, that's the channel, Geordie guy. Might be Mark or something close to that. He's got a lot to say. He knows a lot. He's into numbers, synchronicity, technology, waves, vibrations, human genome. Well, I won't say genome. Human physiological condition with regards to the blood and what happens within your blood in microbacterial sizes and stuff, and the antennas and 5G and the Wi-Fi in the schools. Your property, your children aren't allowed to take the phone into class. Great, and they leave them locked up so they can get them at the end of the day. So why is the Wi-Fi in all of the classrooms ultra strong, and at what frequency, what hertz, what's the safe level, how long are they there, and will it damage the female property, our fruit of our loins, ovaries, whilst they're sat there, you know, and later on in life will it lead to miscarriages and complications with conceiving? Yes, we're looking into it. Haven't got first-hand knowledge. This is circumstantial and it's speculative speak regarding the 6G and the fact that he said on a subatomic or an atomic level, I forget, there was a lot going off, to be fair. I'll review it, let me know if you know. The 6G, 6 gigabyte bandwidth that's been given away, the 5G and the 4G and all the other bandwidths are massive and they go for millions, but the 6G has been given away because it's a bit like the Tesla, Edison, AC/DC business, and one went far, you know, alternating current, DC didn't go very far at all. So yeah, we've got the issue with this 6G. It vibrates at a frequency of, I don't know, and it manipulates the oxygen and the blood cells, and it may be that it does this. We haven't got evidence, and I'm not pushing anything. I'm letting you know what happened. That's it. It's my job to report. Back to you. Interesting, well interesting. We've got more on that, like he's got a card. Let me get the card because it's only fair. I'll broadcast it. It's my duty. 1 minute. 1 minute. Environmental Safety Campaigning Questionnaire is what you get here. This will be available through the .com and so forth. It's got questions on it like, have you noticed or heard of a decline in insects on your windscreen, decline in butterflies, decline in ladybirds, a decline in small birds? And it's got yes or no answers here. Have you or someone you know been suffering from insomnia or tinnitus recently developed? Or someone you know suffer from short-term memory loss or possibly dementia, suffering from diabetes or suffering from cardiac disease? To suffer is, oh yes it is, but this is new to communities and we allow the construct to speak in Anglo-English at all times. And then it's got a little bit of a, and he's got a donation on there, and a campaigner. You can be a campaigner who's looking for guys to go around and test and stuff, and I don't know, it's very interesting. There's no claims made here by me, but some are claiming that this signal and what's happened in Sheffield with what Matt's told me, Matthew from Sheffield and the Sheffield crew, Yes, SPLs. We've got 2 on SPLs and we've got 23 on Indy. So when I start going on here, U23 will be missing out, I'm afraid. But Snafu and Nona, Honda actually, and Stuart, there you go. Nice one, brothers and sisters. You are the wise ones, because they will get the updates. Unless you subscribe to this and your preference is Indy, then thank you, and I take it back. That's quite a lot to look into. I'll post a link later. This is the gentleman, the man who was filming for taking the video, and he had a right setup, better than what I've ever seen, better than what you've got with this, look. The tripod and etc. I will shoot anyone you ask me to. I will frame your family. I will hang your in-laws. I will expose your friends. I don't work for the government. I am not a police officer. I take photos and video. A man called Roland, so I'm going to I've made a connection with him on the Book of Faces. When those videos are uploaded, we'll get them, and you will see what you can see. Oh, it's nice and warm, isn't it? How are you getting it? How are you getting it in the garden? How are you getting it in the house? Are you getting it in the car? What's going on? What are your feelings? What are you saying? I'm going to go to Indy and have a look at you, and we're going to sign off soon. It's been a busy weekend and not much sleep, a lot of pressure. I think I've chatted myself out, to be fair, which if that ever could be done by me. Hey kids, and love and peace. Okay, Tracy, can't see who that is. Steve, Albert, Angela, Jamie, Gary. Easy, alright family, look at you. Oh yes, linking up, nice one. Glad to be of assistance and a part of it. Hope you had a great day in York. I'm a Yorkshire lads, getting ready for work. We'll catch later. You're a Yorkshire lass, aren't you? Typo, it's all right, we got you, Angela. Thank you. Yes, we did. It was truly an honour and a moment to have, but what comes of it is what we make of it. So I'm adding to Facebook Sovereign Paralegals. I had that sign that fell down just then up all day, and I promoted our Sovereign Paralegals t-shirt. I was displaying the contact at sovereignparalegals.uk, the email that we first launched, that we've still got. So enough said, enough done, enough peace and love. Blackburn Lanks here, nice one, Jamie. Dad lives in York. Something about Northerners, isn't there? Southerners are lovely, they're still our family, but they are under pressure. They're under all that EMF, that electromagnetic frequency. There's too much going on. They're too time constrained. They're packed in tubes. They're constantly adversarially fighting over one another. There's every nation under the sun there. Westminster update. Right, so I previously said, what did I say? I said Westminster, the square mile jurisdiction, what contains the banks and the Buckingham Palace and whatnot. Back it up, rewind, delete that. I'm 3 o'clock in the morning rants. I sometimes delete information and rewrite it by accident. I can take a lot in, I can house it, but if you don't manage this stuff right, strange stuff happens, or perhaps something's happening from external with regards to what we've said. So Westminster, Buckingham Palace, it's not in there. Square Mile, Westminster, London. Yes, Elizabeth was asked to ask for permission to go in there. So that's what the Square Mile is. The Buckingham Palace is outside of there, and then you've got Greater London, which is contained in, which has the Square Mile of London within it. And in Greater London, yes, and I'm like, finally. So if we do such complicated things and languages and technologies and the simple stuff, believe it or not, it seems harder to retain sometimes when you are dealing, and I'm not a genius, I'm just a simple man, before you, under the Creator, that's it. And we go through too much, and we have to do the contact, the connections, the meeting, the arranging, the seminars, the website building, everything that goes off. Man's only designed to do probably 7 things simultaneously, competently, and that's without any stress. That's just managing 7 things. Once you've got time and interaction and service level agreements and privacy policies and trust agreements and families expanding and new guys coming in, and they're comprised of indigos, light workers, rainbow, crystal healers, civil disobedience, people that think with their hearts and their minds and are in unison, and that are lateral thinking, that are probably rhesus negative. And we'll talk about alpha and omega later, but yeah, I just think, wow, it's a lot to do. It is, but this is the only way to do it. And then when we give you the update as we see it, we empower you. We put the Sovereign Masters Guild out there for you. We do as much as we can. We share and we return, hopefully keeping the circle complete, doing it within time, keeping on the hero's quest, fulfilling all of the bits and bobs, and trying not to get overtaken by the demons, because let's face it, I think there's a few demons out there, to be fair. I'm not trying to scare you, but things can be misleading. Things often look, trustworthy, alright, kosher, valid, good, buona, bella, hey, bellissimo. But then you think, perhaps I've been tricked, or I've suspected, or I am seeing the good, and there is no good. Yes, hi Tommy. All right, brother. Over across the pond. That's another thing we like, the international connection. Stuart, Tommy, yeah. Astral Thief, I've emailed you. I hope you got it, Astral. I'll check up on that. That request you put in, I did fulfill that, and I sent it on to a lady. Yeah, BCC'd you in, so she should have picked up that email. You won't maybe have seen it, but I replied, and I put hers in the BCC to you, I believe. So you are, yeah, it's done. Let me know. I'm coming on Friday, I think, to Sun and Moon for a hangout with you, Patricia, and Karen, Sister Karen. Thank you, guys. Much love to you. There's a genuine good man there. Did you video the York? Yeah, they're coming. I've answered that. All right, Mr. Menza. Right on, bro. Just have usage until it's paid. Yeah, that's it. With it's amazing, isn't it, John? What we could have, if we'd have got on this at 16 or 18, that's what we're thinking now with this .com and the channels and the openness. We can give the youth this, but by the time we do this, they'll rebuild it and change it into something else, which is the EU, Brexit, David Davis, Boris Johnson, the orchestra, is being played literally. Unbelievable. Squatters' rights, that's it, thank you. See, the simple things get pushed out. Chillstar. We're not in the military. I do like the way you say troops, but I think we might need to revise that, because what are we? Sovereign soldiers, we would say. Troops, I don't know. Much love to you, brother. Somebody there yesterday called, is it Family Livingstone that's a subscriber on here? He's a clever man. We need to get him on a hangout. Much love to that guy, Livingstone, of the Livingston clan. Oil and water doesn't mix. No, it doesn't, brother. Stuart, good chat this morning, mate. I'm grateful for that. Very grateful. It was good. Squat is only upright in council's private property, indifferent to council. Private properties in sovereign common law, not yes, John, that's it. And council properties are different to properties that have a mortgage on them, and private, all right, built out properties with no equitable charge or any charge on that property that is mortgage free, that is paid for, is absolutely brilliant. We're looking at putting some of them into trusts to protect. So that's the next stage of brilliant, John. Nice to see you as well, brother. It's been a while. Mr. M, and a nod for you. Name and shame them. No, it's not for me to say. No politics. We don't get involved in the politics. We can name and shame. I've given enough clues, and if you're in personal contact with me, you will know, and we will see what develops in light of the Brian Harvey videos and the accusations made there. I didn't once ask if anybody had seen. I didn't want to be controversial again. I didn't want to be adversarial. I wanted to get the message out and not distract from the point, but it was right there. Anybody seen Brian Harvey's video and what he's saying about, certain names and that? Wrong. So wrong. Aha. Here you are. Was lonely over in SPO's Pro. Oh yeah, well I was out all day yesterday, Nonna, doing whatever and representing, to be fair, and trying to do the best I could. And then I'm on it all week, Monday to Friday. I am on the SPLsPro.com, and I'm working with G-Star now for further developments. The stability issues have ironed out. We are looking to go cloud-based once the term is up with the American hosters, and then we've got video streaming to come, integration into somehow broadcasting. Anybody that makes apps or that's a platform developer, we would like to make an app for SPL's Pro, and we also would like to talk about developments that we could perhaps embed into the coding. G-Star may be able to do this. I think he said he could, but anybody that's got any ideas, let us know, or some site that does it already. We are trying to compress YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, a few of the other sites all into one. So we have the download, We have the video or resource library, indexable, searchable, archivable, many things to do with it. The video library, again, collated, indexable, searchable, archivable, reference, names, dates, authors, all of this is easy as it could be, and then leaving it for futures man to come and go, what do I want to know, where do I want to go? The courses, the LearnPress courses that we've got, I've released the 3 videos for you under the Masters Trust, the Governor's Masters Trust document. There's 2 trust documents for you, and then you've got the civil procedure, status, standing, capacities, the sovereign template to justice, which is a worldwide proposal for how you would consider handling your civil, judicial, and the claims against your legal person, and not being a defendant, and perhaps going into an administrative capacity and checking out the validity and the standing of the claimant, and so forth and so on. These 3 are going to all be turned into PDFs and go on the LearnPress, and you'll get them for free. If you can't get on the .com, or you don't want to get on the .com, then they'll come through Facebook for free. And if you're not on Facebook or .com and you're only on the tube, you need to make a decision, or stay where you are. That's your call. All right. It's hard to please everybody all the time, and it takes a long time, which is why the website is taken nearly a year, to be fair, to build. Can you all sub to SPOs Pro, please? If you are, oh bless you, Stu. They do, yeah. I think most of them. I've seen Nonnas on there, a few of them, but yeah. Hey, I haven't even heard of 6G. But yeah, I know, this is it. Yeah, go on then and look at the bandwidth, the vibration. Look at what got me? O2 is the network. It's giving it away and utilising it and going out with this signal. And O2 is what? I'm the hydrogen doctor. O2 is oxygen, is it not? Yes. What does 6G do? Go and have a look, and then look at the. Oh, it's just like, what? Is that a coincidence? No, because there are no coincidences. There is deliberate action, and there is the divine matrix of which we entwine with and speak to, verbally, and that's it. So you either do it, and you make it done that way, and you set something up, or it happens because it's meant to happen. Yeah. Sod's law, we called it. Yeah. They gave us Sod's law, Murphy's law. Pish, mate. Anthony Patch, I haven't heard. Yeah. Anthony Patch, Mark, Anthony. Yeah, there you go. Anthony something, 5G, YouTube. I've put it on the like videos. I may have added it to Sovereign, on the Sovereign playlist. Sorry, I don't mean to ignore you, SPLs Pro. I'm coming to you. But there's 23 on indie, then I'm coming over there. De facto, it's actually an indie rant, so it's all right. Butterflies, there you go, yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's true. You need to look at the bees, the butterflies, the creatures, the small things first, and we're not saying anything. We're just saying we've got an area of due diligence. It's not a distraction. We've got a big enough family to cope with. You guys on technology, you guys on research, you guys on script writing, animation, promotions, linking, articles, you guys on the .com in the function of whatever. Subscribers on YouTube that are wanting to do others in your own area, and that's how we do it. There's no area of what we can't look at as long as we get organised in it. You know, the Church of Scientology is well organised. It's well minted. You know, what do? They believe in a supreme overlord coming back down to take, you know, the realm. I've mentioned about the 1666 and the month of June, and certain, you know, maybe Catholic organisation expecting the return of the Messiah in some form, and it not happening. And then, oh look, 1666. What kind of bondage instrument was proclaimed in Latin? Cha, Rastafari. We would have done loads if we knew this years ago. Exactly, eh? Look at the progress we could have made, how much the trust would have in it, how strong we would be, how much blood would have been saved. This would never have happened at Liverpool. Oh, wow, yeah. Jury service, juries, right. Something mentioned yesterday by Will in his presentation was, he mentioned the jury, did an outstanding job on that and presentation, but I didn't hear the English word for jury nullification. I keep forgetting it. What's the English equivalent for jury nullification? Oh, he said it, and it won't stay in my mind. Some words, they are slippery to me, and they just slip out. You can tell me now, and it will be gone when the short-term memory. Yes. But anyway, he did the presentation. He talked about the jury. Excellent, brilliant, can't fault it. And he was going to proceed, so I went, and he saw it. I went, I don't want to you know, step in or ruin your flow. But with jury, are you aware in America they have jury nullification, and if the jury go in and they go to sit in the court, they are asked by the court manager, the clerk to the court, somebody, say, are you aware of jury nullification? If the answer yes, they're asked if they're going to use it. Yeah, I won't tell you what jury nullification is, and I can't tell you what the English word is for it, but you can research that and look into it. And if you are ever selected for a jury, think about that before it now happens. Yeah, you can be prepared for what they will say. That's the beauty with us. You get the tiny little things, and that's what makes life worth living, isn't it? If we just keep giving, we give as much as we can, as safe as we can. The trust technology, I said I'd talk about that on Facebook and help somebody out. So to get round that, we talk about expressing the trust and correcting the trust. You have a vehicle, maybe you've got a Ferrari, a Porsche, a pink Tigra that's a W plate under 50,000 miles, and you might not want to have any claims laid upon that. You might want to protect it, and you might want to do it quick, so you could just do a bill of sale and sell it on to someone in the family, or do it as a loan, and then you don't have the title of that. The V5 will need updating, and it will be out of date because there was a bill of sale in a private capacity gone off, which surpasses a legal entity, but the legal entity operates on assumptions and presumptions, so it will think that Mr. David is still the V5 registered keeper with the legal possessory title only, which is legally responsible for the fines, forfeitures and fees and MOT and all of this crap. And also it can be clamped and taken because I haven't got the correct title status, but now somebody will have, because the property has been transferred and a sale, a private one, has happened. Yeah, so titles have changed, but not legally, lawfully. So ring the, I don't know about that, what I tell you next, but either way, that property's protected. Yeah, maybe it's not on the road, maybe it's just sat there, but you don't. It's on your drive under a cover, and it's a classic. It's not moving, but it's an asset to you, and it's legally registered in your legal person's name in a constructed trust, which is rendering you in that, you know, dangerous position. So the sale and the bill of sale, look at Django Unchained if you want to know about bill of sale. If they can do that with the black man, you can do this with property of a car, do you know what I mean? An iron horse especially, yeah? Be careful you don't call it a vehicle or a car. It's an iron horse and it's private property, yeah? So I wanted to mention that. He went on and said, thank you, David, very good point, valid. And he said, so I will add that in, blah, blah, blah. 11 out of 12, they say guilty. The 12th one says not guilty. They have to let that suspect, accused, defendant go free. I know it looks like 99.90%, 99%, 90% even say it's guilty, but it's better a guilty man go free than an innocent man get locked up. Boom. Better a guilty man go free than an innocent man get locked up. And the remedy for that is in the community when he comes back, when I won't say John Smith, because now when Big Barry comes back, because he's been doing naughties, yeah, and the guys are hanging themselves and he's causing death in the community by telling them he can clamp their only means of earning money. Yeah, see BBC documentary Killed by My Debt. Another factual thing, I'm not making anything up. Man's blood is hanging himself in woods and not talking to his dad or his uncle or his mother, his brother, his sister, anybody, not even sending a message to anybody. He's just going off quietly and doing themselves in because they feel embarrassed, shy, let down. You know, it's just unbelievable. So when Big Barry comes out and he's been found not guilty, what do you think the community in the neighbourhood are going to do to Big Barry? You what you done? You are such and so. Why haven't you? Oh, okay. They've said what? All right. So you're innocent, are you? Innocent. We know about that, don't we, people? And that's what happens, brothers and sisters. So yeah, it's right. There is, but they don't. That doesn't happen when the 11 out of 12 say guilty and one says not guilty. What do? They badger. They pressure. Well, are you sure about that? Come on, let's have another. Plea bargains in America, it's bullshit, to be honest. It's just a business. Sorry to swear. The judge, wow, there's too many comments, you know, guys. I'm keep struggling to keep up. I just wanted to say hello and give you an update. I don't want to disrespect you, but it's a lovely, beautiful day. We should all be outside. It's 20 to 5. Our lass, the settler, didn't see me at all yesterday, and she's missed me. And we don't have a lot of time to give her. So at the weekend, I do like to spoil her and look after her as best as I can, you know, I like to make the time of the weekend my private time. So I've got a lot of love and respect for you. 29 on Indy, 7 on SPL's Pro, so that makes a total of what, 37? No, it doesn't, 34ish. So thank you very much, big love to you. if you can get onto splspro.com, we would really appreciate that. And if you are a new subscriber, I want to send you peace and love and respect. Honda Shadow, who we got? Himari77. Aye, long time no speak. How you doing, sister? Good to see you. Can I get access to the debtor credit program via the .com, David? Debtor credit program? No, we haven't got any programs. Programming is bad word. Not picking on you, Shadow. We do education, and you can get access to documents, and I can give you verbiage for A for V and effecting A for V and stuff like that. We can study and compare and contrast all of the debtor creditor. You have got the trust documents in there which tell you about the the cognomen, the property of Rome, the nomen, the bondage, all of that, the Franciscan friars. Wow, there's loads in there, the pontiff of Rome, the actual trust, the world going in as the res, the Christians as the beneficiary, the trustees and the thingy, and God as a it's massive. So yeah, you get all that in there. You get quite a lot, James. Just £12 of whatever that £12, whatever that pound sign represents, yeah. For them 12 credits, you do get your money's worth. If we just left it as it is now, it's already brim packed over with, these documents and letters and videos, indexing, archives, forums, messages, profiles. But you go to the bottom. If you want a website building, you can find G-Star, the technician who's helped me, as you know, do this, and you can link to his connect there. And you can email Greg at splspro.com just for anything to do with what you like about the site, what you see about the site. Give him an update, give him a feedback on it. Yeah, and you are good, sister. Nice one. Peace and love. Fist bumps to one and all on SPL's Pro. Thank you for the subscriptions and the likes. You must consider, if you would, sharing any of my crazy videos or the random videos of skinhead in a vest with the very cheap, no egos at all. I don't mind what I wear. I don't, have that. But if you want to share these videos, you are welcome to. I would like you to. I would encourage anybody that's got something to say to email me direct at david@splspro.com. I've cleared all of the backlog of emails, I do believe, and I've seen that some have asked for hangouts, and we've got a list going there. There's not a lot on there, so if you do want to chat with us, let me know on that email. I'm going to stop using UK Freedom Project's email, except just for indie and contact. Pete McGowan is a legend. He really, Brother Pete of the McGowan clan is an absolute privilege and an honour. And we are seeing the movement change very slowly. Very intelligent, loving, caring guys, brothers, sisters in this family. The people are being turned into men. It's an honour and a privilege to see this. It is a biblical proportion of sin, what has been bestowed upon man. All right, I'm not coming from the Protestant, I'm not coming from the Catholic, I'm just coming from the temple, this temple, man's temple now, my own temple, the sovereign temple, the temple of the crazy man, crazy horse. And you need to know that biblical prophecies have been told to you. You've chosen to ignore them or forget them, which it is, I don't know. Or maybe not you, but the family members that may be watching the videos and the new subscribers. Go back and check yourself before you wreck yourself with regards to the sacred contracts and who you proclaim to give your the father figure to, and who you actually have given the father figure to when the state have assumed the husbandry role, and the whole shed house is going up in flames. We're lifting the roof on quite a lot of areas. We are enjoying the expansion. There's the admin team and Sovereign Smith there. That's just an excellent weight off my mind and such a good thing to do. So the governor of the Facebook Trust now, and the kind of trustee custodian principal will be Sovereign Smith, and the new admins that he's handpicked, like a famous supermarket advert that you'll be able to remember. This isn't just any admin team and governor. This is a handpicked sovereign paralegal, self-governing, extra speciale. Bella. Thought about this, we've been considerate, we've taken time, and we've outlined it again. So peace and love to all that have been involved in this, and the recent reshuffle is due to security and the way that we need to restructure going forwards, and to free up time for me to go to the .com and manage and interact and sort out connections, music, video productions. CQV, Dead and Lost at Sea. I met somebody yesterday called Kev, and he put me in touch with his son on the phone, and he said he'd link my details and that we can talk about that. He does productions and stuff, so we're building up a good team in many areas. Just fantastic, excellent, and I'm tired. Alright, so I might take some time off in the week. I'll catch up for it, but thank you guys, peace and love. SPL's Pro on here, I have 5. Alright, hang on, wait a minute. Can I, how do you get rid of them? I don't think it will show you anyway. Wait. Can't, can you? Selective. Top track, none, here we go, that's the one. So I got, you see on there, I know you can't, 5 and 1 like, so you on here are 32 and 13, I believe. It's not going to focus. Wait. Yeah, so swap over. If you let me know if you subscribe to SPLS space PRO. All right, get on the .com if you can. We're going private ASAP. We're not experts. We haven't got all the answers, but I think between us we'll be able to sort it out. Where's the cameras? Thank you. Headbutts. Peace and love.